Anyone not sign in? Okay, Mike, you ready to go?
Yep.
Everyone, remember to be a wonderful audience, and go ahead.
Hi, my name is Michael Liu, and let me ask you, do you choose to eat food you enjoy? Does it really seem like a positive benefit to have to pay more for those foods that you enjoy? Well, we all know that obesity is a rampant problem in our country, but the government hopes to implement a fat tax, which I'll explain later, but I believe that the fat tax will only cause more problems than benefits. And we should instead focus on health education to prevent obesity problems in the future. So as a member of this country, like all of you, I don't believe that the government should be able to control our basic choices on things such as food, especially when the government intervention is accompanied by ambiguous outcomes. So today I will discuss the problems of a fat tax by explaining the difficulties in enacting that tax, the lack of a substitute for low-income families, and a possible solution of health education. So let's now discuss what the fat tax is and the issues it's trying to resolve. So a fat tax is a tax on fatty foods, beverages, even individuals. Yes, you may even have to pay a tax just because you're overweight. According to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention, over 58 million Americans are considered overweight, 40 million Americans are considered obese, and over 4 million are considered morbidly obese. So the most common proposal for this fat tax is to tax 1 cent for every 1 ounce of sugar. And it was designed by New York Times columnist Kelly Brownell in 1994, who believes that taxing fatty foods will deter consumers from eating unhealthy foods and will lead to less health costs and problems. So however, while on the surface this proposal seems beneficial, there's an underlying ambiguity of what to tax on that could potentially cause even more problems than benefits. So obesity has no single perpetrator. It's caused by a multitude of factors such as lifestyle, genetics, and a variety of foods. So it's extremely difficult to determine what to tax on. In a 2008 news article, New York Governor David Paterson proposed a 15% tax on sugary soft drinks and drinks with less than 70% fruit juice. But opponents to this tax, such as the American Beverage Association, believe that this unfairly targets the beverage industry and actually only hurts a single industry when there's a multitude of other industries, such as the fast food industry, that also contributes to the obesity epidemic. In addition, it's also difficult to implement because people will substitute food. An article from the Journal of Epidemiology and Community Health shows that if people are deterred from fatty foods, they'll actually substitute with foods high in salt. Similarly, say you were looking in your fridge and you can't find soda or juice, what's the next best thing? Chocolate milk, which actually has just as much sugar and even more fat. So in addition, there's a 2005 study at the University of Texas Health and Science Center that have found that diet soda drinkers are actually more likely to be obese than regular soda drinkers. So even though this tax may deter you from eating one unhealthy food, it doesn't mean you're going to be eating healthier. So while this tax hopes to target the entire country as a whole, different people will be affected by this tax differently. And the people who have to pay most are low-income families. So according to Science Daily, researchers have found that neighborhoods with low economic and social resources actually have higher rates of obesity. Factors include, low access to fresh foods and food deserts, which are long stretches of land without grocery stores. While poor areas have few grocery stores, they have many convenient fast food restaurants. And a fat tax will simply just mean that the people will continue eating foods they have access to, which are unhealthy fast foods, but they'll just have to pay more. In addition, processed foods are actually much cheaper than healthier fresh foods. In a study by the scientists at Washington State University, they have found that unhealthy foods only cost about $1.76 per 1,000 calories, compared to the $18.16 per 1,000 calories of healthy food. Those same scientists also say that a fat tax would be regressive, meaning that poor families would have to pay more while rich families would have to pay less. They also believe that a family earning $20,000 a year will feel a welfare loss double than that of a family earning $100,000 a year. Some proponents for this tax believe that they point out to the tax on alcohol and tobacco and believe that those should be taxed because of their high social costs. And they also believe that fatty foods should be taxed as well because of the cost of obesity. But food is different. Food is a staple. It's a necessity in everyone's lives. And taxing something like food is much harsher than taxing, say, alcohol or tobacco. So obesity is definitely an issue, but enacting a fat tax to punish fast food industries and victimize overweight individuals is not the answer. Rather, a better solution is to introduce healthy eating and exercise programs in schools. Teaching young children good living habits early will prevent many major health problems later on. So programs such as the Healthy School Lunch Campaign is dedicated to improving school lunches and educating children to have a healthier lifestyle. Here's a link if you'd like to copy it down and learn more on how you can help. Also, a study by the University of Minnesota have found that schools will not lose revenue by serving healthier lunches, which suggests that it's not as difficult as it may seem for children to eat healthy. So obesity is definitely a problem, but fat tax is not the answer. It targets the poor people the most, and it's too difficult to decide on what to tax. Over the past decade, Maryland has been experimenting with
6 minutes.
Maryland has been experimenting with the fat tax and are still considering the possibilities. But we, as college students, we thrive on snacks. The Incon, the Common Shop, the Diner, they're all overpriced. And just imagine if we have to pay even more because of this fat tax. So if you would like to prevent this, we should all call and maybe send a letter to our representative, Steny Hoyer, to promote a healthy food education in the future. So thank you for listening. My name is Michael Liu. If you have any questions, you can email me at my email.